All right, I'll call the meeting of the Sanborn Regional School District Finance and Facilities Committee to order. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can you get a motion on the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Marie?
Yes. Inflation rate went up to 4.4 as of April. Please.
That was not a, that was a water.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Sorry.
Sorry, Marie, that was my fault.
The encumbrances, as of 5/29 are in there. Trust fund balances, I'm skipping the operating cash, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still trying not to laugh. There's $6,078,649.01, which is held at the TD Bank and PDIP in both accounts.
Yeah, okay.
The trust funds as of April 30th, because we got those statements in. If I can open it, it would help. Okay, so the special ed expendable trust fund earned $1,930.30 for April, which brings us to a total of $649,055.16. The capital improvement and maintenance capital reserve fund earned $1,458.23. and gives us a total of that account of $490,322.84. And the unanticipated educational expense capital reserve fund earned $875.85. The total on that fund $294,509.39. And the unanticipated utility cost expendable trust fund earned $593.60. totaling that fund to $199,596.08. And the facility use revolving month-to-date revenues was $36,171.96, bringing that total to $405,558.56. And nothing's been expended out of there as of yet, but since last week's meeting, yeah. So the Chromebooks and the books it'll be reflected probably in the.
That was like 230 roughly.
Yeah, it was 64 and 150, or
something like
86,
that. Okay.
yeah. So the total of all of those funds, including the contingency, is $2,709,313.03.
Okay.
And then we have, the revenue report as of April. Do you have a question?
Just that, so this means, if I'm doing this correctly, that if there's 6 million in the account, that means that roughly 4 million of it is, no, how much?
Where are you getting 6 million?
The operating balance?
Oh, that's the cash.
Yeah,
That's just cash on hand.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we think about what,
Just ask the question.
do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand. Just ask the question.
I'm trying to formulate it in my head. It's how much of that is spoken for already?
Encumbered.
Oh, none of that is encumbered right now. That's just literally the operating cash we have in the accounts.
So the encumbrances don't.
The encumbrances are, wait a minute, let's go back.
That might have been the wrong word.
Are you?
The operating cash in just the cash account right now is 6 million.
Yep.
The encumbrances is the report up top.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, let me see if I can get to the bottom and give you a total of the encumbrance. Oh, I went too far.
I'll tell you. What are we looking at? We're looking at H, column H, right?
Yeah.
Column H is $6,368,430.15.
That's encumbrances. That's not gonna take up all the cash though.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't consider the bottom line of the budget.
Right.
That's what you're getting.
That's what I'm getting at.
Sorry. The monthly revenue report for April. You guys can open that, the month-to-date revenues. We collected $2,435 for the preschool. The Fremont tuition third quarter came in for $724,777. Earnings, the earned interest on that account for April was $15,332.89. The other local revenue was $4,356.48. And over to the right, you had asked me before, Rick, to break up the other local revenue because we kind of just throw everything in there.
Mhm.
So it was money for the track invitational and then New Hampshire retirement health insurance. Is that's what makes up the 4,000. And then we got the adequate education grant, 835,201.58. And the Medicaid grant we got in 12,728.56. And we've already surpassed what we thought we were gonna get in Medicaid because we budgeted 60. So we're over by 3,000 and some change through April. And I already know that in May, we've already received more. And then we've earned $858.62 in interest for the Siemens account that we had. But overall, we earned $10,000 in interest from that account.
Good.
So the revolving fund, the month to date there was $638.75, which was just facility use rental. And then food, lunch sales were $56,973. The state breakfast was $6,599. The food service federal portion reimbursement from the state is $18,732, and then the breakfast federal reimbursement is $4606. So for total in the food service fund was $86,912.20. And then the grants, if you go all the way down, we excuse me, ended up earning 15,000 in grants for a grand total of all the funds, 1.6,098,782.03.
What's that SAFE grant? Doesn't look like we received anything on that.
The SAFE grant was,
2660 SAFE grant. So it looks like we budgeted 54,000.
yeah, so that was the one that we got for the middle school swipe cards.
Right, for the lock.
So that was just given to us.
Okay.
We haven't.
We haven't
till-
received it yet.
I
Okay.
have until
No,
the
we
end
have
of the
to-
month to turn the paperwork into
Okay,
the
all right,
state,
yeah.
and then once that paperwork's in, then they'll approve it, and the job has to be completed by December 30th.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Right, so they won't reimburse us until the job is complete,
Right.
but that's what we
So we have to
received
set that
for the
aside.
grant.
Yeah.
Yep, all right.
That's what our obligation was. So
Okay.
revenues look good. And then we have 4 budget adjustments. Budget adjustment 104. And what it was is I took the maintenance budget and did a report. And I tried to align the expenses accordingly to where the money is being charged. So that when we budget next year, we'll see where the actual amounts were coming. They only went from maintenance to maintenance, but we just cleaned them up. So,
That's good.
this is the whole, the total was 137,000, but you can clearly see it's just all the maintenance, all 2,600 accounts just going back and forth to cover. That was 104. Do you want to
think
approve them one at a time or all at
I
once?
think go, unless you guys all once, right?
Yeah.
Throw them all. Okay.
Okay. And then the next one was budget adjustment 110. And that was to cover the fire alarm system for the Minuteman that we had done back at another facilities meeting, and we said that we were gonna take that out of health insurance.
Mhm.
And that's the 148,035.86.
Okay.
And then capital improvement again for the cost to cover the high school gym roof for $135,085, and that also came out of the health insurance.
Okay.
And the last one was 118, and that was for special ed to cover line deficits to purchase fireproof file cabinets to store the special ed records in ESY supplies and independent evals for contracted professionals. Because we didn't have enough fireproof files and we need to be in compliance.
Yeah, those were those cabinets that were on the last expenditure.
Mhm.
So, okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to approve, budget adjustment 104, 110, 111, and 118 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Only discussions, is we're not actually changing anything, we're just clarifying.
We're just moving,
expenditures. Yep,
exactly,
so just
to the
for
appropriate line.
For the universe, no actual dollar changes, just better
Not the
allocation
bottom,
and
yeah,
better
exactly.
management.
No, nothing changed the bottom line. Well, we can't anyways, but yes.
So thank you.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
Thank you. And that's it for me. Daniel, it's all yours.
Oh, yeah, 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have a chance to look into those invoices that I'd sent
Yes,
over?
sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, can we go through them? And
Yeah.
it might just for the public and for James, and for me as a reminder, right?
I'm good.
Well, you may already
Just
know,
kidding,
I
I'm
forgot, so I guess I have a couple questions before you go through it. What is the approval process? What is the limit, that, principals have to spend? And is there an
Well,
approval
there-
process in place?
With this new system too, I mean, it has to go through, they have to request a requisition first.
Mhm.
And the secretary will put that in, but then the principal has to go through and approve that requisition. Then that will then come to me after they approve it. So they have to go, any department head or principal has to go through and approve it, and then it'll go through me.
And you approve the
And then
principals?
Yes, and then I approve the principals, and then
Okay.
even when the invoices come in to purchase or to pay for those things,
Mhm.
the principal has to approve it as well, and then that gets sent over to Lisa, and then Lisa makes sure that everything has an invoice attached to it, and it's charged the appropriate line and whatnot, so there's multiple levels of approvals that go through it.
Yeah, I just wanna make,
It's not like the old system that things could have just
who
like.
approves Dan's? Do you approve Dan's?
Yes. Well, Tina puts them in.
No, that's
Dan
fine.
actually
I'm just
approves
wondering.
them.
Yeah, no, I'm just
No, but
final
I'm just
approval
saying,
before they
like,
go.
Tina puts them in, Dan
Yeah.
pushes them through to me.
Yeah.
And then I look at them and I approve them.
Okay,
But, there are many times where we've kicked things back saying, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
all right, I think we're good there. I think I don't think I need an explanation right now on the rest of that, right?
Okay.
So I think that was a good explanation for now.
okay,
Can I add one clarifying question?
of
As
course.
these the requisitions are being requested, is there any correlation to the specific budget line item?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and
So can
I
you see-
actually
can you see
forwarded both of
quickly or
you
easily?
tonight a presentation that I gave the school, the budget committee.
Moments ago, I haven't read it, but I
That's
saw
fine.
the email coming in, yeah.
But like one of your initial questions was,
Well, one of my questions was, somebody purchased like safety stuff for a vehicle and other things, and I just don't know if that person's the best qualified person to do that.
Well-
I would think it would go through this gentleman.
that was actually for ELO, for their end of the year success, day. And it was like senior success day. Carrie Alley Violet, she runs that program.
Hmm.
And they were just like
I don't
little,
think that's the one I'm talking about.
no, it is.
Yeah, like truck kit, first aid kit.
Yeah, so she purchased those and then she gives those to the kids for like a little gift type of thing,
Oh,
cause they're
okay.
going
Alright.
off on their own. And I questioned her too, and she
Like a
said that
novelty.
they've done that for many years.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
But for instance, is what I was gonna say, anything that starts, any account number that starts with a 22,
Mhm.
like this one
Yeah.
was actually the seminary, trustee grant that they gave us at the beginning of the year, and they said that they could purchase ceramic air purifier.
Yeah.
Well, here's the 1710 that was spent, they spent 1790, so there was an $80 balance that was just charged to the art department,
Okay,
just to cover the difference of that.
and that's one purifier.
It was 2 purifiers to
Okay.
cover that big room.
Right.
Yes, and their backup is here too.
Yeah, if you're the backup, we don't have to go through them all. I'll just-
Oh, yeah,
if I can
no,
look through them, that's fine.
nothing gets put in the
Yeah,
system
that's
without
fine.
backup.
Okay,
But
Is
yeah,
it I think you said this, but is it reasonable to assume that if a requisition is issued for a budget line item and it exceeds said budget line item, does that create a different set of flags or approval
oh yeah,
process?
there's a little thingy that says check budget, and if if it's over budget, I am notified.
I love it.
Yeah, and they can't put it
I'm
in.
still getting educated here.
Oh, no, no,
That's
no.
awesome.
And
They
it's
can't-
to me like that too.
Right.
Before I approve it, I have to click yes or no if I wanna push
Yeah,
it forward.
exactly,
go
and
back
it doesn't
check my work.
necessarily make the decision for you, but it's,
Right.
it's a useful
It's
filter
set
that doesn't
also
take humans.
that they can't put in a requisition if it goes over their budget.
Thanks.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Unless,
Yeah, that's-
unless I override it and then it goes to her and then
Yeah,
she
and
has
then
to.
I
Which
can
is
override
right,
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wanna, you know,
Yeah.
we have to move stuff around, but, you know, we
And then
wanna
that's
have the
why we
right
have the
level of
budget
diligence.
adjustments.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Which is great. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, that's, and thanks for that information.
No, that's fine.
Dan, Ken, sorry.
Here we go.
All right, what's the first thing on the agenda? Just-
Exciting.
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 All right,
Let's get right into it.
so let me give you some history here. Last week I met with the engineers and architect and Siemens, the engineers and architect that built this building 22 years ago. And the story is when they did a warrant article to build this building the first time, it failed. And the taxpayer says, we want a 20% reduction before we approve the warrant article. So the four major things that they cut to get it down percent was the ball fields. They didn't put drainage tile in, they didn't raise the field like they should have. The other issue the other thing they cut was the air conditioning in the building. The other thing that they cut was the second floor in the music room, the band room. There's supposed to be a second floor in there.
So it's just huge.
So it's just huge. It's lost space up there. And the fourth item was the siding on the building. This building was designed to be brick from ground to roof. And what they did is they said, okay, well, we'll do brick on the lower level for safety and security reasons, and then the rest of it, we're just gonna go with siding on the second floor. So the architect and engineer at that time recommended that they go with some type of masonry type siding, like a Hardy board or something. It's a name brand type product. And
Hardy
these
Boys, what is that?
Hardy board.
James Hardy.
So
yeah.
the
Good stuff.
school board at that time said, nope, we wanna go cheaper than that, and then they picked that masonite siding that's up there now.
Glorified particle board.
You got it. So that's kind of the backstory of how we're in the position we're in now. So we went up there, they did an inspection. They said that the siding on the building is in 100% failure. There's no recovery on any of the siding up there. They also stated that when they built the building, they were instructed that after 10 years, you have to paint the siding, and every 5 years after that. That siding has never been painted in the 21 plus years of the 22 years, because it was put up early in construction of the history of this building. So deferred maintenance, once again, is put us into the position that we're in now.
Just like the track.
The,
The track prior to us fixing the track, it was never maintained. That's why we spent.
the running track was always maintained. We were always on a maintenance
That's not
program,
what-
but that's neither here nor there. It's not the subject at this point.
Hmm.
So, so they looked at a couple areas where they know there was 2 or 3 complete total failures in the building. So what they were stating is that they need to get in the walls and see how bad the damage is. So they recommended that we hire a contractor to come in and open up the walls in those 2 or 3 areas, expose what's in there to find out what's going on. Now, the way our building is built is similar to this diagram, where you have studs on the inside and then a hardboard, and then what they call Z-girts, and then insulation, and siding is attached to the Z-girts. Their concern is that since we're already getting water in the walls, that these Z-girts and the studs behind that may be rusting out, which means that they would have to take those partitions down completely on the exterior walls and reframe it, and then put new siding up and new drywall and everything on the inside, which would be a year-long project, and we would be losing half this building to construction for that period of time. Worst case scenario, they just don't know at this point until we get our head in the walls. The other issue they have is that the siding that I would like to use on this building is a zero maintenance type siding. It's a composite siding. It's 35-year warranty on it. It's a little bit more expensive than most products, but the longevity of it is where you're making your money back on the investment. So they checked with a couple of these manufacturers, and they don't know if they can attach any type of siding to those Z-girts and still maintain the warranty on it.
What's in this picture? Where's the outside of the building? Where's the inside?
So this is the outside. So these are the Z-girts. It's a Z-shaped type stud, and it's attached to the hardboard, and then you have your metal studs on the
Metal studs on the
inside. And then this is insulation, and then the siding is literally screwed to these every 16 inches on center on the exterior.
Can
So
you
if those
see
are all-
those Z-girts from the
No,
exterior?
no, you can't.
Okay.
When you take the siding off.
When you take the
This is-
siding off, it will look
This
exactly
is
like that.
standard construction.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is not unique, this
Yeah.
is not special.
But I brought this thing because
So
it
the
kind of gives
question
you a good
is,
visual.
when those things are, if those things are rusted out and not gonna take screws anymore, then
They're
that's
not,
your
or,
issue.
or the bottom plate that holds them could be rusted out, and now you have a wall that's just flapping in the bottom kind of thing. Like I said, these are worst case scenarios. We don't know until we get our head in the walls. Now, there's a couple areas where there's obvious water damage in the building already, so the assumption is that if we don't have to do the whole building, there may be sections where we have to do a portion of the building. So these other siding manufacturers,
Kiddie pool underneath it.
the other siding manufacturers may not warranty their product based on just fastening it to the Z-girts. So the other thing is that they would strip all the siding off this building, and if the metal studs behind it and the Z-girts are in good enough shape, they would have to attach a hardboard to those Z-girts and then attach the siding to the hardboard, which is a significant cost to the construction project anyways. So all this is unknown. I'm kind of giving you the worst case that we may have to tear this whole second floor off and reframe the whole building depending on what type of rust is underneath there. Or we may have to do portions, or God willing, we can get away with just stripping that siding off, everything looks good, and then putting some type of sheathing on it, and then our siding on top of that.
I feel like there's an ask coming.
So the ask is,
Open up the walls.
to keep us on schedule, and this is the timeline I'm trying to meet. I want to get these exploratory holes done in the building within the next 4 weeks. Then, once we get the engineer, the architect, a couple representatives from the different siding companies here to look at it and see if they can work with it or find out exactly what we need to do, then it would give us the opportunity at that point then to put an RFP, RFQ out or whatever, and give us time to get it out and get it back by the end of August, beginning of September. So that way, if we know what the dollar amount is, we can go for a warrant article in September, October, and get it in next March's ballot. So time is of the essence here, so I'm trying to push this along very quickly. So with that being said, I don't know if these exploratory holes are gonna cost $5,000 or $20,000 to do. But what I'm asking is, I have a contractor that's willing to do it on a moment's notice to come in and do it. He's done work for us in the past. He's the one that did the loading dock at Bakey, you know, he's done a lot of work for us here already. I'm asking that if we can go with a no bid type scenario here and just get him in here, open up these walls, we photograph it, document it, bring in the engineers, and then once they're all done doing that, put some type of temporary siding back up in its place until we can figure out what's going on. And the reason why I'm asking is because if I gotta get multiple bids, now it's gonna take me 2, 3, 4 more
Understood,
weeks to
understood.
do this.
We need an amount or an amount not to exceed in order to make a motion,
Okay,
right? I
That's
think
fair enough.
I think that's what we
I
need.
think that's fair enough.
Probably.
So I need either an amount or amount not to exceed.
I would say an amount definitely not to exceed $20,000.
That's fine. I'll make a motion
Hang on.
to, oh,
Hold on one
sorry,
second.
I gotta make a motion.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve, the expenditure of $20,000, an amount not to exceed $20,000 from the, facilities
Facility
use
use revolving.
revolving fund, for the use of, exploratory holes to, find out what the situation is with the siding at the high school.
Second.
Okay, sorry.
Um, What's the policy on when we need to go out to bid? What's the amount?
10,000.
So do we have to vote to, how does it work if, I guess two
I can amend
questions.
my motion.
Absolutely, yeah, the two
Yeah.
questions would be, do we need to first vote to circumvent that policy?
I'll just amend my motion. So I'll amend my motion that we are circumventing the 3-bid rule in this instance only due to time constraints.
And the severity of it.
And the severity and what's going on.
Okay.
And then the rest will still stand.
Okay.
Second.
Who decide, yeah, second,
Thanks.
yes. Who decides the quantity and location of the exploratory goals?
So
That's
I've
what's
already
gonna-
talked
that's
with
what's gonna
Siemens and we
happen.
picked up a couple troubled areas
Yeah.
that have already coming in. So there's 2 to 3 areas we want to target right off the bat.
Do you
And is
have
that
any
a-
suggestions?
I do. You've clearly identified our worst case areas.
Right.
I think it would be useful, this is exploratory, right? So what you're trying to do is build your RFP package,
You got it.
right? So we need worst case, typical case, and best case.
Yeah.
And then that will then be really useful data for future vendors to bid at a hard price. So
Right.
we should not, I don't want to decide that, you know it. I think you probably have this in your head, but I just want to make sure that, because if we cut whatever, for 20 grand, you're gonna get X quantity of holes, especially if it's repaired too. And if they're wrong, you're gonna get an inaccurate picture of the entire building.
Right.
So,
Right. But we gotta know how.
No,
Is the idea to go where you know the problem areas are and then also go to a place where you don't think it is?
the idea from my perspective.
Yeah, like how do you do
when-
this?
When this project is done, what you want is an indicative picture of the building, which includes worst case, best case, and typical. Cause that's what's gonna be useful for the
Exactly.
full project.
You're exactly right. That's why I would take 2 or 3 of the worst areas and then pop another hole that doesn't look like there's an
Yeah.
area that.
Okay.
It's
that's what I'm
just
getting
like
at.
super important that the only areas we touch
Yeah,
are not the worst areas.
Right, we can't
Like, I
have
know
a-
you wanna fix.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
believe.
It's confirmation bias, right? It's that, like,
You got.
we gotta go to places.
As
that
long
don't-
as that's part of the
Yes.
locations.
And obviously, the areas that we feel are not troubled areas, the holes would be much smaller because we're not going as
Yeah.
in depth, you know?
But that'll be as a future bidding contractor, they'll wanna know that for sure.
Right, right.
And then
Really smart approach.
So, well, after,
Oh, yeah, did you have another question? on it?
just typically, no, this is irrelevant. We have other stuff to do. Let's move on.
Okay, so we need to vote.
Yes.
Oh, do you have a question? Sorry.
These solar panels
I
on
was
the
gonna
side.
say, you can bring that up and improve that, and then I wanna lead
Okay,
into
keep-
another
Oh, okay.
issue.
Keep going.
But
Exploratory holes.
Yes, so we need a vote. We have a motion on the table.
Yeah, I mean, discussion's done, so.
I'm in favor.
Yeah.
All in
Yep.
favor, yeah, totally.
Okay, unanimous.
Thank you.
Good, yeah.
So this brings up another subject now that's not related to exploratory holes, but we have these passive solar systems on the end of the building. They haven't been operating for a couple of years. The siding goes behind them. We don't know how these panels were even fastened to the building. I personally and Siemens feel that there really probably isn't a huge rate of return on that system to our building at all. So we feel that we should probably remove those when we do the siding and it comes to a big project, to include those solar panels, passive solar panels,
Thank you.
not active, passive solar panels,
Semantics matter
Yes.
to me.
and have those removed. The other reason why is because they're tied into our rooftop units, and the new rooftop units will not accept
Yeah, you don't wanna
that
do
passive
that.
system anyways. So when the time comes that if we have to redo the siding, that those passive solar systems on the buildings would be stripped off at that point, and just expose what was originally there when the building was built. So I just
So I
want to,
think when we come back, like, we'll just get the board to vote on that. I-
yeah, and that will be in the RFP, RFQ or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm just want to make sure that you guys are aware
Yeah.
that they're probably gonna go away.
I'm hoping that the siding's gonna be beautiful behind it.
It'll be both.
We can rip some of that down. and use it
So,
to
you know,
replace
it
it.
is a side
Some
note.
areas are gonna be beautiful, some you're gonna have water damage, because
Yeah.
somebody did a bad job fastening behind it.
Kind of as a side note, there were 3 schools that were done by that architect and engineering firm. You have Wyndham High School, who was done very similar to us. They ran out of money and they went siding like us, and they're dealing with that issue now too.
Mm.
Exeter High School was done by the same company, and they chose to go with brick from ground to roof line, and it looks fantastic over there now. So there's local examples if you want to take a look as far as what the siding is like and what the siding, if it was brick all the way up. I mean, I was kind of goofy and said, you know, what would it cost us just to finish the brickwork going all the way up and just be zero maintenance forever?
And
but I
that's a
mean-
pretty gross number, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to venture, but you know, it'd be zero maintenance and you'd have to recap the top parapet or whatever. But I mean, it's something that's doable because the footings and everything are there to support it already, you know? But it's something I thought about just throwing it out there to Siemens and say, okay, let's just change gears here. I'm sure it'll be considerably much more money when you bring in brick contractors and everything else and scaffolding and everything else, but I'm curious to know if they would have go from ground to roof with brick, what would the cost be? And it'd be difficult, because now you got a match brick that was manufactured 20-something years ago, and it's faded and everything else. It'd be difficult to do, so.
Yeah.
But it's a question. So,
But what you were kind of looking to get input, not decisions on, was like, as we go through the siding project, so the passive solar walls come off and not be replaced.
right,
100% support on that.
yeah, I just wanna make that clear, because a lot of people think it's active and, oh, the school solar. No, they're not solar. All right, so that is that issue there. I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda. What was the next
That
item?
was it.
The old
Fee
business.
schedule for
Fee schedule,
facility
yeah.
use, and we kind
So-
of.
Okay, and under old business or new business, I did get a current bid, today for the dugouts at the girls softball field. That came in at, $28,590 for the 2 dugouts on the girls softball field, which in my opinion is a very fair bid, because just the material alone from Beacon Athletics for the dugouts were $10,000 per dugout. And that didn't include concrete or labor or anything. So, I put that number in our new, spreadsheet, just so it's there for you guys to look at, okay? Obviously, we have a problem down there, but that's the latest number I got is 28,000 for those dugouts down there, okay? And I have the loading dock. I'm hoping to get that one tomorrow. We were out there today with the builders.
I'm just so unclear, I apologize. That's the softball dugouts at the high school,
Yes. Yeah,
28,000.
28,000. So, and then I met about the loading dock again today, so I'm hoping to get a pretty good number on that within the next couple of days, just so you know what's going on there. Okay.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say you're pretty dead on in your estimates versus actuals. You carried 28K initial,
Yeah,
and it's 25.
Very
yeah.
good.
Well, it's tough
It is,
because,
yeah,
I mean,
I know. It's a compliment.
well, thank you, but I mean, you know how prices are in
Dan's
construction.
not,
He's
he
not
doesn't
used to
take
getting-
that very well.
I'm
It's
just
very,
trying to
it's difficult.
recognize
Well, no, I
that.
just
It grates against his doom
Nice
and
try.
gloom
I mean,
nature.
Fair enough.
concrete alone, as you know,
Yeah.
has skyrocketed, you know, I can't believe the price per yard on that now, but. All right,
Right.
so the,
Facility use for all.
the fee schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a couple current ones here. I just received one from the, Sanborn Community Basketball, adult pickup basketball, July 1st through September 15th, Sundays from 7 to 9:30. Now,
So,
my question is, obviously it's not for the aid or benefit of the children in our school district, it's an adult league.
Yep.
But are we gonna figure out some type of flat fee and charge them, or are we gonna do this by the hour like we normally would? Because technically, we need to have a custodian there the whole time they're there, because none of those people are employees of the school district for liability reasons.
Mhm.
I gotta have a custodian there now on
What
Sunday
if-
mornings from 9.
what if there's a
7 to
school board member there?
9:30. But you're not an
Just kidding, I'm
employee,
just
but I don't know.
joking.
See, these are good
Can I ask-
questions.
These are good questions. What is our desired outcome for this specific line item? Like fee structure for facility use, like, what does that mean
So
for today?
I'm not entirely sure, but what I was gonna do on that was to give an update on what was happening, which is not much has changed because everything's busy and we've got other stuff going on. But these applications force an issue, right? What do you have? So like, just for everybody's, we knew that we said, okay, our lease is up in December. And we were taking our time, doing our due diligence, talking to community members to see how we can get community groups who you want to use this thing to share in the cost so that it's not so unpalatable for us to just have this on our line, as a line item and have to foot the whole entire cost ourselves.
And it
right?
was 50, right?
Sometimes it
50.
varies from 42 to 50, here and there 43 to 50.
The
And then-
fees?
The cost of operating.
And the gym needs a
Depending
lot.
on
Oh,
the
yeah, right.
But there's
Yeah,
also projects.
ignoring maintenance.
Now, I had an encouraging conversation, this is just to rehash this part, with Sanborn Community Basketball, who's, I would call a high capacity
Power
user,
Yeah.
power user. I haven't been able to talk to anybody else yet, so I still have to do that thing. But it was an encouraging conversation that there could be what I would consider, I don't know if the rest of the board would consider, I don't want to give a number yet because I don't have anything, but what I would call a substantial help to the costs. And, you know, and not only monetarily, but also if we were to draft a rental agreement that would include responsibilities, like not maintenance, but janitorial type situations, right? That they would take care of X, Y, Z, and, you know, certain maintenance and upkeep things like taking out the trash is, you know, supplying X, Y, and Z. So that's a factor. But as we've been taking our time having these conversations, we now have this pressing issue of how do we operate currently while we're figuring this out. So what are the applications?
And the other one is for Sanborn Community Basketball, but that's for the kids program,
Yeah.
June 14th through August 30th. That one's relatively simple because it's a program for
Feeder
kids.
program,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And we can figure that out also. But once again, the people that represent that organization are not employees of the school, and technically we should have an employee there open it up and sit with them while they're using the facility until they leave. That's what we do here in the school for the auditorium and the gymnasiums here. So we're doing it at one facility, but not another facility. So once again, we have conflicting kind of situations here, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we have,
Now, if it's our program, you know, like middle school basketball, they're name checked by us and they're employed by us because they're coaches and they're given a key card. And
you also
everything
do have people, this is only incidental, like this isn't a solution, right? But in Sanborn Community Basketball, you do have coaches with key cards.
Right.
There, you technically, like me, like I coach middle school girls basketball, I've got the thing, I'm technically an employee.
Right. So if you're at this adult pickup every time, in my opinion, he would be the representative for the school then.
And there's
So-
more than one of us that is.
Right,
that bill, yeah.
but I don't know that by looking at these applications.
Of course,
So how
I
do
think we
make
gotta
that-
we have to figure out a more robust, not just an application. Let's say you approve one of those.
Mhm.
What happens? Like, let's say you approved it, do they sign anything? that
Well, they
says what they're
sign it that they're
responsible
responsible for everything when they sign the
That's
application,
articulated in
drugs,
here.
alcohol, damage,
All the
all that
things.
other
Okay, good.
stuff. And then it goes to the athletic director, the principal of the school that's involved, and
In
then
this case, it would just
facilities,
be
and
Ryan
then
and you.
superintendent.
Since there's no principal, it would just be you and Ryan.
Right,
in this one, okay.
right, exactly.
So yeah, I
So-
think we need to think about how we're going to deal with these while.
Have you dealt with them historically?
We've been losing money historically.
Just signed it.
Yeah, no fees or anything.
Right, we didn't
So-
charge.
But if we hold them to the letter of the rule, it would cost them a fortune by charging an hourly rate plus custodian and all this other
Right.
stuff.
So what we
And-
know is true is the answer is in the middle.
Now, I do,
Right?
like, we
We don't
pay,
have time to figure it out.
But we have to be equitable among all the nonprofits and profits in the.
we pay,
community.
like, there's a fee to be part of adult basketball. But I don't know what it covers and in what relation. It might be there and just towards insurance for that organization.
And that's why, because this is the application, that's the minimal information I get, and it's hard to make these calls unless we
Yeah.
know.
Well, we came up with an hourly rate, correct?
Well,
We had
no,
a proposed one.
you guys
that
were
was-
working on that, but it hasn't made it to my desk yet,
It
as
was-
far as how we're doing
As
this.
I recall, if you did the math out, it would have been prohibitive for almost anybody,
Right.
which is what prompted.
What was
me
the
to-
amount? I don't remember.
Well, don't we already have some sort of fee schedule that we use when they rent the high school here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, we do have a fee schedule, but, if I'm holding to the letter of the fee schedule, there's no way they could afford that gym every Sunday because even though they want it for 2.5 hours, I gotta charge a minimum of 4 hours. Plus I gotta bring a custodian to babysit, plus there's janitorial fees and all this. I mean, this is a big chunk of money, kind of like we did with Pro Staff Driving School. If we were to charge him the hourly rate for his driving school, he couldn't afford to be here. So you guys settled on a fair dollar amount with 1,000 pages of printing on the copy machine or whatever. And he agreed to that. So he's just paying a flat fee.
So I think if the adult and the kid applications are they both driven by Sanborn Community Basketball? Is that
Well,
who's applying?
Steve St. Cyr.
He's the president.
Did both of them, did
Yeah.
the applications.
Yeah. So he's the president of both, so,
Right.
I would we could consider trying to come up with a
I
preliminary.
would come up with a fee for the parents. Right? For the adults.
Yeah.
Not, for now.
But, and I think also there's the issue is going forward, I would want to say, hey, Sanborn Community Basketball, let's do this. What's your involvement gonna be and how much can you throw in, right? I think that they would be very open to that on the assumption that we would renew the lease, right? Like, that's sort of the idea. So I would wanna,
I get where you're going,
You
but
know what I
the
mean?
problem I have with that is let's say you have the baseball group now that comes in and wants to use it, and you're
Yeah.
dealing with an organization that has money and an organization that doesn't. So you're gonna charge one organization a certain fee and another fee just based on what they have in their bank account. And
Not
that doesn't
necessarily.
sound fair to both of the organizations.
well, not necessarily, because you could still develop that number based on their usage. Right? It doesn't have to be
Yeah, so
the same flat fee. It could be a flat fee,
it
just,
needs to be the same fee, right?
Yeah.
It has
It
to be
does.
for simplicity and equity
Consistency,
and
yeah.
consistency. But
well, it could
simplicity
be
is good.
calculated the same way. It doesn't have to end up being the same number
Yeah,
though.
totally. It should
Right?
vary on utilization.
Exactly.
Right, so how I would approach this is say, hey, we have, 50 grand is the annual operating budget for the building.
Right.
And then, your 4-hour minimums or whatever for, additional staffing, what is that total figure? Like, if we imagined,
Just the 50.
we had a vendor, no, I can't, so 50 all in. So if we had events there 365 days a year, we could cover janitorial costs or whatever for 50
Oh,
grand.
Ideally,
Mhm.
Yeah, so that your daily rate is $137.
Yeah, that's,
And I don't have the fee structure with me, unfortunately.
But
It's on our website.
annual operating cost divided by days of the year equals,
well, sure,
Daily rate.
that is one way to do it. We could do it. That's a sensible way to do it too. The issue is just,
the daily rate's not covering him, right? The 137 a day isn't gonna cover, what we're
Right.
spending.
And
well, that's what I just asked. I
Yeah.
want the total all-in figure, so let's imagine.
well, it is.
we-
though.
It is, but
Dan
we
says
don't rent
it's
it out
50.
365
don't
days
rent
a
it
year.
I understand.
And some are
And-
profit and some are
and-
non-profit,
Yeah,
and some are
which is-
student-based and some are adult-based.
Not relevant,
Yeah.
right? So utilization, right? Building
Yep.
cost, staffing cost, 50 grand a year, right? And then we can choose what is a reasonable utilization rate, maybe based on historical years. Is it occupied 50% of the time, 75%
So
of the
the
time?
school,
10%?
we said the school occupies it an eighth. Our middle school teams, school-related things, about an eighth of the time.
November, December, January, February, the coldest months of the year, the most operating costs for that
But like,
building.
we don't have to figure this out in 4 minutes, but like, that's kind of how I would think through a day.
We started to
What
do it
you
that
need
way
is a
before.
reasonable daily rate that can be applicable for all, that reflects the actual costs incurred for utilization, that it shouldn't matter if it's Sanborn basketball or Sanborn planting group.
No, the only reason I think is that it's tough to pay a daily rate when you only go in there for an hour, or you might only go in there for 2 hours.
I think that is standard facilities rental expectations.
It might be, but if you have an organization that uses it that much, that the cost will balloon to an untenable amount, probably.
Then they can find a different solution, I guess, which I don't think is likely.
No, but
Because this is just short money. Even if you double that, it's still short money.
the issue though, I think, is that I'm just trying to do some math in my head. Anyway, that's where we were last time we were talking about this. We're trying to figure out what that looks like. And it might be the case that if you actually do that math, it ends up being what they wanted to throw in anyway.
So,
So who knows?
just as a side, Ryan Browner, our athletic director here from the school district he came from before, he said that school affiliated groups, high school, middle school, the fees were waived. Community-based organizations were charged $25 per hour regardless. And then outside organizations were 25 and up. And he kind of puts and I'll read this to you if you don't mind. He says the rationale behind implementing these fees is straightforward. If we do not generate revenue to help offset maintenance and operational costs, we risk reaching a point where we can no longer sustain the facility.
Mhm.
In that scenario, all user groups would be forced to relocate to alternative venues, likely at a significantly higher
Mhm.
cost than what would be charged under our model. Ultimately, we aren't asking them to buy us a new roof, but to at least cover the cost of general maintenance,
Sure.
just as 2 cents, you know. So,
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
right, so,
I guess I would say this though, I would charge adult basketball. Theoretically, adult basketball, for example, or pickleball, I would charge in a way and more, I would charge them more. Or I would want to give a discount to a program that actually helps the schools, like baseball, basketball. Because those programs are critical
So
for
that's your
building
like
up, you know what I mean?
affiliation,
That's your
you know,
affiliated,
discount or
you know,
whatever.
whatever. So let's continue to work on that.
But it should be a table. Like
Exactly.
what we
Should just
can't
be a
do
thing.
is a, and
Yeah,
like,
it'll be a table.
I know we're talking about Swayze, but I was thinking, I was here Saturday for an aerial northeast thing. I
right,
got a photo to show you. Every seat in that auditorium was filled at a significant admission fee.
and we
And
made money
and
on that.
Good,
Yeah, we made good
Good.
money on that.
yeah, and we should.
Wait, what was it?
Flat. Yeah,
What was
but,
it? What
but
was it
that's
then?
They had an aerial
aerial
show.
northeast.
Oh.
They had
Yeah,
riggers
so,
come
yeah,
in
there
and
was
fly people
400
around the
people. It was
stage. and-
great, it was wonderful, and it made me think, wow, what an asset, right, we have here to our community. There were people from the tri-state area
Right.
here, and so I'm glad that
Yeah.
that was,
How many minutes out just because they're trying to bring kids in?
3 or 4 minutes.
3 more minutes.
so anyhow, but
So
to
yeah.
that point, I like the idea of having, if you are directly affiliated with the school district, like your
Mhm.
contact there, that makes total sense for a single flat discount
Sure.
for all.
Yeah.
And then, but that table should be based on annual operating costs. I think, I feel strongly it should be a daily rate, not an hourly one, because like, if you add the hourly stuff, you're just gonna add so
The
much
minutia is
complexity
ridiculous, yeah.
for
But-
such little value.
But once you add in the affiliation discount, that's a way
That
to,
can offset some of
Offset.
that.
because usually the ones that have such high volume are in some way, you know, helping the school in some way. Even if there's not a true affiliation, there's a community affiliation.
Cool.
But,
So
so
like-
in terms of these,
Well, like pro staff driving school,
Yeah.
we negotiated a price last year with them, but now are we increasing in a percentage, every year? Because our
our costs
Our
go
costs
up.
go up.
costs go
Your
up.
rate schedule changes on an annual basis.
Yeah,
Well,
It's like
it
every other
should, but our rate schedule hasn't changed in 15 years.
And we're gonna change that now, buddy.
so
Yeah.
when's this, when do you need to,
So like pro staff is 6/9, that's when they're using the cafeteria. So this week. And then as far as the basketball, July 1st is June 14th through August 30th for the youth basketball. So I mean, I can give an answer and say, yes, you can use, the youth one isn't such a hard one because it's a feeder program.
right,
But are we gonna ask for some type of fee? Because right now it's free to them. All right, are we gonna ask for, okay, if you wanted those dates, can you at least kick in $250 for usage for the summer? Or, these are the things that,
yes.
We
I think
have to.
We will do that. I think we should do that.
and I agree, but I don't wanna say yes to them, and then when we slap them with the fee, they're gonna say, well, wait a minute, that
No,
was never
so-
discussed.
I would
Steve-
put the fee on the agreement,
Yeah.
and then send it to them for review before you
Steve,
sign it.
yeah, and Steve,
Okay.
he's the one I've been talking to about all this, so he's well aware of the.
So, and
importance
I
of-
don't mind doing that, but I'm coming to you guys for guidance because you were the ones that were
I think
developing
for
this
now, that's
table,
fair.
I would say for now, a nominal fee.
which is what? What
What do
would you
you guys
guys wanna decide?
Well, let's go with the first one. How many times are
Okay.
they using it?
So it's June 14th through August 30th. It'll be Tuesdays, 9 to noon and 5 to 7. Thursdays, 9 to noon and 5 to 7 and 7 to 9. And Sundays,
those are
5 to
days.
7.
So
I mean, these are
total
long days.
quantity
So
of
3 days.
Yeah, so 3 days a week.
Times how
for-
many weeks?
I'm getting my calculator up.
Yeah, at various times during the day.
Yeah, but
But
it's-
that's still
it's-
one
But
day
it's full
rate.
days.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're
it's
actually
full
using
day,
it for the full,
Yeah.
yeah. Why can't I, there's a new computer, I can't get it.
3 days a week from June 14th to August 30th. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 3 be like
21.
28 days.
21 days.
21
That's more, yeah. And what did we say the daily rate was? 137?
I don't know what it
Assuming
is.
100% utilization, right?
It's $2,800.
That seems very prohibitive.
That's funny, because I was gonna say
I-
that's a
I seems-
smoking deal
I
for
seem-
2 months of a
it seems
facility.
fair.
rental.
I
And
think
they're
I-
charging people to play.
No, they're not. I mean, they're charged.
They don't charge families to play these?
Of course
They do. I'm just thinking that,
It's like pickleball. We don't charge them anything to use our gym, but town charges a fee for them to play
Yeah.
pickleball, and they're making them profit and we make nothing.
I think that, oh, how many days is it?
21 days. It's $2,877.
21 days.
Yeah, in full days.
Yes.
Yeah, except for
They're very-
Sunday, it's from 5 to 7 PM.
So if you, I guess the reason it seems high to me, we could,
It's because
Continue to
we've
offer
never,
stuff,
because
'cause
we've
we've never
never
done it.
charged the right amount in the past. That's why it
That's
seems
true.
high.
Where can
But
you get a
also,
gym
though-
for $150 a day?
just say this, let me say this, the 137, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't take out our own usage of the building. The rate shouldn't be designed, I don't think, to have us recoup all costs.
But nobody's using it. We use it an eighth at a time and nobody's using it.
Where
So
that
that's what
comes
I
from
mean.
is the utilization rate.
Yeah, so take out the 1/8 that we use it and then divide that for you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. It
seems like-
super cheap. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean.
I will
don't-
rent that building, I will fill it with crap, because that's cheaper than unconditioned
Storage.
warehouse space. Just to be totally transparent.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to be sensitive to to the people that we're trying to serve in the community too.
I'm trying to be
And
sensitive
it's-
to the 85% of the
I-
community.
Yeah, the
aware.
taxpayers.
I'm aware, but this is not, I think that there would be,
All right, look, guys, I'm just gonna say this. He needs an answer and we need to get to the next meeting, right? So if we're gonna vote on something, somebody make a motion and we vote and that's it, we move on. Because we gotta get out there.
what was that number?
2877.
Do 1,600. I don't know. 2,500.
I'll make a motion to approve Dan going back with $2,877 for the use of the gym.
$2,877 for 21-day period.
Which is
21
A
days,
daily rate of
$137.
$137.
$37.
I second that.
Okay. Any more
I
discussion?
mean, I think it's too high, but I think I would wanna, I would want it to, that doesn't reflect a community discount. I would wanna build a community discount into that, given the importance of the program to the schools.
I would say maybe then if we agree on a community discount at a later date, we would offer it to them, but for now, I think that the motion's 2877.
And the same thing for adult pickup basketball also.
Yes. Daily rate for now.
And that daily rate you calculated was what?
I don't know. I'd have to do
137.
the-
137?
And that's,
137.
It was
I mean, then that's
$50,000 divided by 365.
right, so that's like super simple and assumes 100% utilization rate, which we know is unrealistic. So that's where we are subsidizing, right, the community involvement rate, because we know we're not gonna be filled 365
I
days.
see that point, yeah.
So if it's actually filled 50% of the days, which is a lot more accurate, that rate should actually be
Yeah.
250.
So now our rates are posted on the website. Are we gonna get kickback from the community saying, well, wait a minute, you have it advertised at this on your website for rates and now you're changing?
We're making a
rates?
motion to change.
But are they
we can
rates
change the rates
specifically to
anytime.
Swayze or are they rates to this building?
There's rates specific to every school,
Even Swayze?
even
Well,
Swayze.
look, I'm just gonna say, we've been working and discussing this for months, so we can adjust the rates. I think we have the autonomy to do that. So the new rate is 137 per day right now. That's.
Based on 4 hours or more.
That's what we're voting on. Well, we're voting on that one right now, so.
Based on a daily rate.
Is there any more discussion on this?
No, we have to get in
Okay,
there.
all in favor? Opposed?
One.
Okay,
Okay, so
Passes.
so you'll go back to him with that.
That's gonna be a hard one, but I'll go back to it.
okay. Anything else? Dan, as always,
I'm
thank
good.
you, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wish we had more
great, thank
time,
you.
believe me.
All right, meeting adjourned.